Welcome back, everybody. Let's now explore this room that we left the last episode on a juicy cliffhanger.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So before I do that, I wonder if this happened due to us doing the same ending twice in a row, or if this happened due to just reaching some kind of end or loading the start some number of times, or possibly it's just a roll of the dice. Although I don't feel it's a roll of the dice because I feel they intend you to start off being able to choose some of those branching choices, and this comes after some either trigger or after some number of things. That would make most sense. But it could be some number of things plus a dice roll, but I don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right, let's go left. Now this kind of makes me curious about doing the same ending. Or no, we didn't do the same ending last time.
Yet there was not a single
So that's
person
clearly
there
not the trigger.
either.
What am I
Feeling
thinking?
a wave of disbelief,
Huh.
Stanley decided
We
to
did
go up
the-
to his boss's office,
Yeah.
hoping he might find an answer there.
We did the switch down
Coming
and
to a
up.
staircase,
So we got
Stanley
1,
walked
2,
upstairs
B4.
to his boss's office.
Let me see if we can go through the sequence. Yep.
Here's the door, just go.
Yeah. Wait. Me 2, 8, 4, 5. Alright, I mean, I don't know what I expected there. This time we'll do the escape thing. I completely lost the train of thought. We're at that point of the video. Aw, yeah. Brain turn into mush. Delicious brain mush. So yeah, we found the 1, 2, B4.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control.
I want to
Facility.
see if there's a 1, 2, B4 to try over there, but we can't do this escape if we go over there. But was there any button that was a B? I don't remember any button that was a B. I remember 10, home, stack symbols, brackets, like off kilter brackets. I don't remember something. I don't remember a B anywhere, so let's just do escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death.
Will he keep going back and forth? Why does on call X extension 914? Let me back up. I want to die. Alright, he's not gonna... I'm a little disappointed they didn't keep commenting, but yeah, let's keep going. I do wonder how many, like, when you make him say a thing, is it just like a little quick
The door
quip
behind him
that's...
was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yep. I'm gonna see if he comments on it. For instance, like, does making him say some of these things, like going back and forth, does that trigger a new pathway, or is that just like a little funny quip or comment? Oh, okay. He's not gonna comment this time. My assumption is there's just those things that I had just gotten were funny quips and comments that don't really change the consequence of what the outcome is. But there's obviously situations where I think it little stuff like that will change it. Although this is all conjecture and I don't know. This is me guessing.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep. Also, I'm very self-aware that I'm probably just reading into this game too much and like thinking about it too hard when like, oh, and that there's probably some truth to that, but oh, 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 sweet. Because like, there's a certain part of this game of just like enjoying the experience.
Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise. He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
So they changed the narrator. Huh. Oh, that's cool. Like that's actually
Yet it would be just
cool.
a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Just the way that like the door, like as you go through the door, it shows off the Stanley Parable. I see a seam there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Compression might ruin it when I upload it, but to the left of the P, there's like a vertical line of light, which means there's probably paneling or something on here. I don't know if they'll ever reveal that. Like, can I like turn on the light and reveal what is? There's either paneling or the way that they programmed it. There's a visual bug right there to the left of the P that has a flashing light. Yeah, whatever.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This is cool. This is something I distinctly remember from watching, because I think it fits this game so well in the meta, and it does such a great. Still thinking about that overthinking, but this is how I enjoy games, so let me overthink it. It shows off the game, like it's a way to like be meta, be funny, keeping the style of the game while also like genuinely showing off like design concepts and like satirizing like the creation of the game and the assets and the work that goes into it. I think I remember there is some genuine, if I might be remembering wrong though, so we'll see. Some genuine comments that are from the creators sort of about the design of this game. All right, so office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core layout. Alright, I said that wrong. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Yeah, so actually that literally right here, this sign was proving my point about the creators making genuine comments about the game's construction, which I think is really cool. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Now, I'm kind of wondering if they're being satirical here or they're being genuine. I assume a little bit of both, especially since it's British humor. What about the timing? What about the... Well, the timing would matter for getting to the 2 doors. Why does that need to be just right? I have no fucking clue. No trucking clue, I should say. The 2 doors. The set of 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Yeah, I think that's beautifully put. That's really cool. But, you know, sort of extending that thought. Them literally extending the thought of like player choices, like from something as to be reductive as dumb as choosing between 2 doors. Like that's literal in a sense, and I'm pretty sure from the programming, this whole game is almost literally, or I say almost literally because I'm actually not certain about it, but I feel somewhat confident that this whole game is basically choices between 2 doors. Like, there's branching paths everywhere. Like, for instance, you go into the boss's room. You either interact with that control panel with the key code or you don't. That's a branching choice. You interact with it. Do you put in all the numbers or do you not? Do you put in the right numbers or do you not? Do you listen to the narrator? Do you not? And like, you could say like, oh, but at some point there are triple choices, and I could be wrong. Maybe there are genuine triple choices, but my assumption is actually there's 2 choices there. You chose one of the choice, and then one of those, 2 of those pairs of triple choice is actually one decision in that direction, kind of thing. I could be wrong in reducing things, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, that's really cool. I like that. The 2 doors. The office. The buttons. Ooh. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. I don't hear the keyboard, huh? Mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone? Do they put the synthesized tone to a keyboard stroke? Or, I don't know. I hear the clicky there. Ooh, that is satisfying. Listen to that click. Ooh. That's nice. I bet if you're a game designer, this little section has some really fun or cool things to it. Credits. Hey, you know what? Let's take a second and appreciate. Like, I'm not that far in. I think have a little bias when I came in. I already know I thought the game was great, so I'm looking for validation of the game being great. But that's a weird tangent to go off of when I'm just gonna fucking read the credits and show the awesome people who worked on this. Stanley Parable credits. Written and designed by Davey Rendon and William Pugh. Sorry, I don't know how to say your last name. I think I got Redden right. Additional level design by Colin Eddings and Jack Parsons. Programming by Jesus Higueras. Again, not sure how to say your name. I'm making assumptions that it's Spanish. Sound design, Robin Arnott, Eduardo Ortiz, and the impeccable Kevin Brighting as the narrator. Awesome job, Kevin. You do great. There is another narrator, though. I don't know who the other narrator is. Over here, probably. Original music by Yanis. There's a lot of somewhat difficult names on this game. Yanis Ionidis. Sorry for butchering people's names. Blake Robinson, Christian Baker. Additional voice work by Leslie Staples, Aviva Pinchas, Jenny Kuglin. Original artwork by Simon Boxer. Mika Lotti. I feel like I've seen that name before, but I'm not sure. Steam support, Jason Ruiman. This is kind of funny since I'm playing it off of the Epic Store right now. Jason Royman, Cassidy Gerber, Mike Dunkel, and Peter Wyckoff. Model design by Andreas Jorgensen. Animation by Rai Soderberg. Maxime Lebeld. Stanley character skin, Taggart. Dean Darko. Additional music, Siddhartha Barnhorn, Kevin MacLeod. Webmaster, whatever that is, Shane Sweeney. Made using Source by Valve. So this is a Source game. How about that? There's some solitaire, employee database. Can I turn these off? Yeah, I can. Get turn. So left or right? Ah, 2 doors. 2 doors. In this situation, I feel like we probably can explore it all, and it's not really a 2-door situation. Or is it? Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Neat. 431 through 436, showing off the little printer model and the separation things. These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Remix. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win, is to lose. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Larger. Can't see the images because of all this text. If someone could just get rid of the text, then maybe I could see what the game was about. Words. Upside down words I can't read. Sideways words I might be able to read, but they're in Spanish or some other language. Greenlight. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. Cool. Good job, community, supporting this cool game. Tron-like thing. War and bike. I wonder if... Well, this will tell us. Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that was far too jokey on the nose for the tone of the game. That actually sounds like amazing and hilarious, but they are probably right about it being too jokey and on the nose. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Huh. Good on them for like obviously they don't intend it to, as they say right here, it was not our intention, for it to seem like making fun of shooters. And to be honest, like, they could have just done it. And most people would probably know, like, oh no, they're not making fun of shooters or give them benefit of the doubt. But they're aware that it's a possibility and it's an intention they do not want. And because of other reasons, like it being jokey and on the nose, they were like, it's probably just not worth it to do. And respect on that. Like, sometimes you have to realize that and be like, all right, yeah, like, people can interpret this the wrong way, and it's not really my fault if people interpret it wrong, but at the same time, I'm aware that people are going to interpret it wrong, and there's other things bad about, like, really, it's probably not worth it. Like, if there's some reason for you to do that, like, you know people are going to interpret you wrong, but it's like there's something you gain or, like, some reason to do it despite knowing that, then, like, there's an argument for it, but I'm not going to get too meta. I'm not going to go into overthinking like I know I will if I keep down that path. Alien Base. Awesome. Oh, that was going to be, yeah, that's cool. And then that was, yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. I like developers when they talk, and this game gives such a good platform to talk about design elements they were thinking about and that they didn't go with and like why they did. Because as somebody who works and had a job, I will eventually have a job again, I'm pretty sure. don't overthink that one. It's nice to see like the ways in which people made alternate decisions and did something that didn't quite end up working and making a different decision anyways. Narrator emails. After the second trailer, we sent out... After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. The lights in the control room. Is that the buttons? I am Anthony Elias, business broker. Please partner with me in a very rewarding business venture. Details will be sent to you if you are interested. Treat as important, not spam. Will playing the Stanley Parable help me make friends? I don't have friends. Oh. That's satirical. Maybe satirical and kind of funny, maybe sad. Please, I'd like you to keep the proposal as top secret and delete if you're not interested. Get back to me if you're interested for details regarding the transfer of $24 million and a half. This, oh fuck. Will the game feature capybaras? I assume no. Good question, Quakester. I'll only read a couple more. I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is the eager to sequel parable companion because art needs to be good. Wait, needs a good sponsor. What? I wasn't able to finish. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? Oh. I could keep reading those all day. They're pretty cool. I assume they will loop eventually, or there's probably a lot of them, so they'll probably loop eventually, but I don't know if I'll stick around long enough for that to happen. Early version of Lounge. I do think... Wait. Have I been to the Lounge yet? I might not have been to the Lounge. The Office. Yep. The cargo lift. Alright, I have seen this part. I know I haven't gotten to it yet. There's annoying... I just translated that, man. There is a noise that is annoying. And creeping me out coming from somewhere. Is it here? Yes. Okay, it's coming from that clock. It sounded like dripping, or like some weird alien noise, and because I didn't know where it was coming from, I was being annoyed by it. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Cargo lift. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we want to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Maybe it's because it's using source and or source assets, but this really kind of looks Half-Life-ish right there. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping up to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we want the option of the player falling to their death. All right. Nice, nice. Spatially, I'm a little confused right now, but whatever. Let's keep going. Meeting room. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Nice. That's pretty cool. I like this insight. To confusion ending. So that was in maintenance? So I can't remember which one they did end up choosing. Wait. We just ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. So first choice. Okay. First. So I haven't done the disobey yet. So staircase. I've gone down. Is going down leading to the maintenance? Or was the maintenance a branch out of here? You could vent into the lounge. Okay. So if I figure out where maintenance is, I can figure out the confusion ending or the lounge, maybe. Most of them, all of them have a way to loop back. Okay, so I think I've had the confusion ending. I think that was where I ended up passed out on the floor. And I just didn't discover the vent or the exit. Okay. Cool. I like that. There's a little meta here that let you actually understand the game, because you can come to this ending before you've finished all the choices in the game. And like I have not even been to the lounge once, and they're already like showing off, and they're like talking about like the cargo lift, like a thing I haven't even done yet. And there's a cool meta there. Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending Z ending, I'm assuming. Players would pull a lever that the narrator would describe what color lever they pulled. Nice. Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Huh. This is a portal-like area. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it shortly before launch. Ah. Alright, so I've not been to this yet. I'm pretty sure I've actually seen someone playing this get to that, and we will get to that at some point. The game is now paused. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what we were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everybody. The wording of this is making me probably overthink it, but for a long time, that assumes that they don't anymore. But there's nothing in here that says that there's no longer the escape menu ending. And I'm wondering if this is a way for them to show off that the escape menu ending still exists and is hinting at it. So we will try that sometime in the future to get that ending. So this one opens up into a couple things. I would like to explore this whole thing, but if I can't, that's fine. Unfortunately, I've just crashed. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll end the episode here on a crash. And I will see you guys on the next one. I apologize for the very abrupt and unsatisfying ending to this video. But yeah. See ya.